Vincenzo's Gold Crypto Investing this April the 11th, 2025, nightly cryptocurrency XRP blockchain technology gold and silver bullion update. You can see with Trump saying he's going to pause most of the tariffs for 90 days and try to work it out politically with the other countries. The stock market has rebounded nicely. It posted its biggest single day gain, I think it said, in the history of the stock market. Gold and silver bullion, the dollar on one hand is getting hammered. And I ask you to bell notification and not get fleeced, heisted, and shysted like the dollar is currently in the world being fleeced, being heisted, and being shysted, and is in a rapidly descending continuation to the downside. You need to become members of Jabroni Killers, $3.99 a month. We have a growing army and movement of members spreading our word of truth, trust, education, and information to the masses, right? And you can see the dollar has been in a massive decline ever since, well, if we zoom out to a longer time frame, you'll see it's been on a massive decline for the most part every year since it's been being tracked on the market, right? It had its blow off top during the Reagan hyperinflation when he took over and the dollar was threatening to go goodbye bye. He raised interest rates to 25%, and the dollar soared for 4 or 5 years. And that was the height of the dollar bull market. And ever since then, we've been in a big bear market. And we've been trending up since the 2008, 9, 10 financial collapse. And we were in this rising channel. You can see this right here in the dollar, a well-defined rising channel. We got a lot of noise and nonsense. So you're just going to have to look past that, but you can see upper resistance, lower support several times in this nearly about 2 decade rising channel. Support in '08, support in 11, support in 14, support just below it in 21, ferocious rally back up to resistance in 22, and then trading on support the last couple of years, followed by support in 17, or resistance 17, 16, 2015, 2010, 2009, right? We have a rising channel here. What do we know about rising channels? They're bullish continuation patterns because it's rising, but bearish reversal patterns after they break down out of it. And a technical target would be down here at about 83.82 for the US dollar. So that's going to be very interesting if this is actually a breakdown out of this, or if this is just another fake out and it'll come back in and rally back up into this uh rising channel there. And you can see it too. Look at that in the daily. Notice how it was holding on it for dear life when it came back here last time. We held support and rallied back into there for uh 6, 8 months, right? Right when Trump first got in. And then now it's falling off a cliff and it's just dipped below it. You can see that could be something that's very concerning there, as that could be the momentum and the buyers or the sellers coming in and the volume coming into the sell side and trying to break a critical major support level and threatening to break out of a 20-year pattern. So we're going to continue to pay attention to this because usually a weakening dollar would have the stock market going up and the gold going up, right? Dollar goes down, inflation, dollar buys less, stocks go up, assets go up, gold, commodities, oil, right? All that kind of stuff, food, gas. Well, not gas right now initially because oil is selling off, but we're going to pay attention to the dollar. But as we get back into the crypto, because it's a very interesting weekend, and in my last noon update said we have a uh, pump advisory for the weekend because you can see we're pumping today. We pumped last night off of support levels. And as the market closes and the volume gets less and it's more of a retail traders during the weekend, I could see some localized pumps going on. Like you had in one of the Brony Killer member uh, commenters that wants to follow this, XCN, it pumped off that major lower support in the purple trading zone. Let's put that to the full screen. And we had a massive pump today. Yesterday, when we looked at it, we were sitting here in the, let's go to the 3 hour time frame. Yesterday, when we were talking, man, this happened very quickly. We'll have to go into the hour time frame. We were sitting here on lunch in this wicked candle and the one next to it. So we were flirting right around just above the purple zone. And we said you would probably come back test it. And if you back test it and hold it, your next upper target would be the next resistance box above you. Let's see what it did. See that? It came back and held it as support right here, traded just above it, and then we pumped up to the next level. And the next level here was with the truth, trust, education, and information. Just go watch the video yesterday. The next upper target that we had was scoot back over here, back to the 4 hour. Oh, we didn't put it up there, but it would have been the bottom part of this red resistance box right here. And if we looked at the video from yesterday, I'm sure I would have mentioned that because you always go to your next resistance box. And now what's going to happen here is you got rejected with a big sell volume, right? And we're again, this all happened quickly, so we're gonna have to go in probably the 5 minute because this is just going crazy. You can see where it hit it initially. Zoom in. Notice as it was coming up, and our program director's coming over here. It hit the bottom part of this red resistance box, got rejected, held it as resistance, and then finally broke above it, right? And now it's got to come back tested, and it initially broke down. And after it broke down, if you notice, it went back up, it got rejected by it, and now it looks like it wants to come down. And if it comes down, what you would look for it to do is it would eventually, whether it jockeys up a little bit back towards 0.022 or it just fades down, you're going to look for it to come to the top part of this purple box and look to hold it as support. And then if it held it as support, you would look for it to rally back to this major resistance zone and then try to break into it, hold it as support, and then continue to the upside, right? So right now, you're in between zones. If I had to say in the short term, after a 275% move in 48 hours, you're going to come back and back test to 0.01498, and you're going to have to see if you can hold it or not, because if you can't, it could liquidate just as fast as it went up right here. So that's the area that I'd be watching out for. For XCN, let me go into Shiba Inu so I don't forget, and then we'll look at XRP because another Jabroni Killer member asked about Shiba Inu, and I forgot to do it yesterday. So here's Shiba. And we haven't looked at Shiba in a while. Let's go to the daily. Oops. You can see we do have our support and resistance boxes on here. Let's see the moving average. Look at the last time we were looking at it. Look where we were. We didn't even have our bears cross yet, but we did now. And look how far down it came. So there's the 50. The overhead 200. It's been a complete reversal. Get out of there. It's been a complete reversal as now you have. Ooh, that's why I never do it like that. It's harder to see. Now you have the 50 on the bottom, the medium term 100 in the middle, and the long term on top because the price has been pushed down so much so fast. As you can see when you zoom out into the daily, you had your COVID high, then you had your Donald Trump rally high, and now you're back down into a major support level down here. We'll move this down. At the bottom part of this, it's a bunch of zeros. We still don't want to buy you or that truck that you're advertising. The point, a bunch of zeros, 967, was a major resistance and support zone way back when in the history of this coin. You can see back during 2023, excuse me, it was major support and resistance. It traded within the box. Then it flipped to resistance. Resistance once, twice, three times, four times, and then finally broke back up, right? So this is going to be your major area here. Is this trying to hold a local bottom? And if it is, then you can get up above the 50-day moving average, which is at point a bunch of zeros, 13, 16. Then you would look to try to attack these moving averages from below and try to breach them and hold them on the way up. But right now, the major short-term resistance is the top part of this red trading zone, and the major lower support short-term is the 0.00, a bunch of nines, a bunch of zeros, 967, right? So that's what we're looking at right here with Shiba. any kind of crazy pump, like if it did an XCN type deal, just and for the imagination, if it did something like that and it shot up, the bottom part of the screen resistance box would be a major resistance area if you pulled a XCN type pump where you just pumped very, very fast for nobody knows why, decides the money was sloshing into there, like the whales and the sharks like to move the money around, and you could fire through in a theoretical way this point 1311 and shoot immediately because there's not a lot of volume that trades in between these boxes and shoot up like say 69.43% just to roll over on itself. But this, if you had a big pump and you were looking where would it end, that would be a major resistance zone at any kind of weak on localized uh, relief rally pump. Because if you look at the coin, just like XCN was down like 85% since, we'll do just since the Trump pump from its high to current low, it went down 69.96%, right? So it's overdue for some kind of relief rally, and a normal relief rally from where it's at would be up into about the bottom part of this green trading area, right? I don't know if it's going to do that right now, but eventually at some point it should do that in the longer term. So that's something that we'll have to watch out in the medium, the short term to see if it's going to do it now or if it's going to try to come back to the bottom part of this red trading zone and then potentially have something catastrophic happen. But we'll keep an eye out on this for members of Jabroni Killers and members of the rest of the audience, trying to think some other ones that people were saying that are Jabroni Killer members. Casper, we talked about earlier. What is this? I don't know what that is. If somebody wanted that, just comment to me in the description below and we'll cover it in the next video. If we look at XRP, we'll zoom in. We've been trading up since we broke down from the neckline. We're trying to attack the neckline. So this weekend in the short term, this is either going to go one of two ways in the next 24 hours in this for the short term. We came back up after breaking below the neckline, and look what we did beautifully. We hit the neckline and held it and got rejected, right? It's a long-term support of the neckline through the left shoulder, through the head, through the right shoulder. Now broke down for the first time and came up to try to reclaim it and got rejected twice, right? If this is going to be a classic hook nose bearish reversal pattern and it flips it to resistance, a technical short-term target would look something like this. You would go from right here for the immediate short term, and you'd be looking to come down to your next level to the downside about $1.52, right? Making a new low, and then you might try to trend back up. But if this is a confirmed breakdown, you might try to hit the technical target of $1.26 in the next couple of weeks or this weekend due to the short-term volatility in the market and come here, the more bullish ending to the week as Trump midweek paused the 90-day pause on tariffs. XRP, if it wants to get a little short-term bullish here, can get some buyers, and whether it has to come down and double bottom and then do it and come back on top and flip it to short-term support, it could get on top of this neckline and have a decent rally from current price as high this weekend as the 100-day moving average and the 50-day moving average up there, which would be from the current price, a pretty significant weekend move. That would be a 11, 12% pump, right? That's why we have a pump advisory on it. Could it do even more? Yes. And if it did something crazy like an XCN, the highest I would see it getting is this uh, ride resistance $2, and I believe it's the 55-cent level. Yep, $2.55 is the major upper resistance. But you can see what we were talking about here, the major support during the right shoulder. Look at all the times it hit through a long enough span, months apart, a couple of months apart in some cases, hitting support at the same area and continuing to buy. And the same thing with the left shoulder. We had multiple hits of support, a cluster in December of 24, a couple of a nice solid area here in December of 24 and another cluster in December of 24, right? So during the whole month of December, we were hitting major upper or major lower support at the neckline and continued to buy, and then we pumped and broke to the upside. And then we did the same thing on the downside. See that? Held it at support over about a month and a half to 2 months, and now we broke down. And if this is a technical breakdown, that technical target's getting hit sooner rather than later. But with the short-term bullish trends to end the weekend or to end the week and the close, I could see a scenario where during the weekend you pumped up and straddled on the north side of the neckline and traded somewhere up there. I could see that happen. So don't be surprised if you do see it happen in the immediate short term. It could do something like that, but I still believe in the long term, we're going to hit that major underneath target of $1.29. The XLM, the same thing. We looked at that earlier today. And that's pretty much it from the noontime update for XLM and Bitcoin. It's the same thing. On a pump to the upside, you would look to get to 25 cents this weekend and try to hold that. And if you could get higher than that, you could pump as high as the 100-day moving average down here, right? And then if you dump to the downside at 18 cents is your major underneath support. Like, subscribe, and share. Peace and love. Direct site route J.